What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Art of Suffering podcast with Dalton Darnell. Today, I have the most famous cowboy in the state of West Virginia for you guys. Seth Adkins, welcome to the podcast, buddy. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Dalton. Really appreciate that.
This guy has been on the news more than any other cowboy maybe on earth.
No, that's not true.
Oh, my God.
Just a couple of times. You're never going to let me live this down.
Seth, I'll say this, man. When you live in a place where cowboys don't live, you're a hot commodity, dude.
That's right. Hey, you ain't got a lot of pressure for people beating you out of work.
That's right. That's right. So just kind of lay the groundwork here. Seth does a bunch of cow catching in West Virginia, correct?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everywhere. West Virginia, Ohio, Kentucky.
Yeah. And you pretty much stay doing that 24/7.
A pretty good bit anymore. Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Gosh, I really don't know. To tell you the truth about it, because there's not. I mean, we don't have there's not a lot of people that does it.
Mm-hmm. So you're the guy. There's a lot of people with your phone number.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my buddy Ryan Owens helps me. We do it a lot together, went to Pro-Am with.
Yeah. Do you ever get repeat callers, like repeat customers in that line of business?
I have. I'm trying to think. I thought about this the other day. Well, matter of fact, I'm going to one tomorrow. Yeah. That is kind of cool. But I've had more than one. That's not the only one.
What, you reckon this guy should just hire you to build him some fence?
Well, I think it wouldn't hurt nothing, really, sometimes. I wonder. I mean, it's happened, though. I caught one day, and I caught it 3 days later. It jumped out of a pipe corral.
Again. The same
cow. They put it in this thing that held buffalo, but it climbed up the manger and was out. It was a smoked Charolais cow.
So I reckon this dude lost money on this cow.
Oh, yeah. When you got to catch them twice.
Did you charge him twice?
Yeah.
You didn't give him a discount for the second one?
Well, maybe a little bit, but it wasn't much. No, it was a long way away. I mean, these things ain't right beside of me. The price of cattle does help too right now because they're so high. Everybody wants to,
Yeah, get them. Even those old, get them shit.
Yeah, those old junk cows, pound cows. We catch a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. Man, that's fantastic. So, Seth, tell the people kind of where you grew up and what you grew up doing.
Oh, I grew up in Huntington, West Virginia. There's a few cows around here, but it's not big cow country. I mean, and I grew up. My family owned a construction company, and I just grew up doing that stuff. I mean, we always had a few cows and a horse, but I'm the only one in my family that does this.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody rides. It's just me.
Yeah, that's not rare.
Yeah, no. You either got it or you don't you? I mean,
period. So you grew up doing construction, like what kind? Clearing land or?
We don't know.
Builds or?
New builds. They build houses, but we cleared land. You done a little bit of everything. Poured concrete. We done all kinds of stuff. We start to finish.
Mm-hmm. Your dad still do that?
Yep, still does to this day. And I work for them some, off and on. I still, we got a hoe and dozer and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he still does new builds here and there.
Do you like that kind of work?
It ain't. Yeah, it's okay. But I like what I'm doing a little better now, though.
Do you make more money cowboying or more money construction?
It just depends. Sometimes cowboying, sometimes construction.
Yeah. Well,
depends on how kind of year. Yeah, it's what kind of year it is, and what kind of catching jobs you get.
Mm-hmm.
Like the bigger, those bigger ones pay a little more sometimes. Like where you're cleaning off job, like where somebody dies or cows, those pay a little better.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Did you grow up playing any sports or anything?
Oh yeah, I played baseball, basketball.
Yeah.
Yep.
You ever miss that?
No, not now. Not at 42.
No.
No, I don't move like I used to
do.
Yeah, I know, but I don't move like I used to.
So you rode a little bit when you were a kid, but you didn't row.
No, I never did row. Not at all. Not until I was maybe 20. But I rode all the time. I did ride.
Now, no, so you started roping when you were 20?
A little bit, and then I kind of just got away from it. I tried to team rope a little bit, and I went a few times, but I never did do any good. But then I got away from it probably 10 years, and I started back in my 30s riding, and I'd throw at the dummy little stuff, but I didn't know what I was doing till I really started this ranch roping.
How old were you when you actually started trying to rope well?
Well, oh gosh, I was probably 36, 37.
Because I've known you about 5 years.
Yeah, it's been about 7 years, 6 years probably. Yeah, because it's 2000. It was 2019 or 18.
So what? Now I get calls every week, Seth, of people who want to get into this stuff, who are older, and they're like, "Oh, I know I'm getting a late start, yada yada yada," and I'm like, "Well, I didn't start till I was 25.
I started till I was 36, so you might as well say."
So explain that to me. Explain your start. Like what triggered it, and how'd you kind of get going?
Well, in the cow catching, I started cow. People asked me about catching this herd of cows one time, and that's what got me started. And I did. I finally got them all caught, which I didn't know how to rope that good, or nothing like that. But I got a lot of them in a pen, and I thought, man, I got to get some dogs or something. I didn't know nothing about these cur dogs, like we have now. They will find them like where we live. That's the hard thing is once they just disappear on you. They just go out of sight. Well, you've lost them then.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. So I got that. And then I started after that, then I really started wanting to rope. And then I went seeing you all. And I thought, man, I got to learn how to get better at this. And then Jamie and Brent put on that roping, and I went there, and that's really where I got started in the ranch roping. And then I thought, man, I got to get better.
Did you know those guys before that? Or is that where you met them?
No, that's where I met them.
You just showed up and was like, hey,
yep, Brent asked me to come, and that's how I went. And I just went and started. I caught really good up there. I didn't know what I was doing, but.
Now, was this before you came down to that roping ours?
Yeah, it wasn't for long, though. Maybe like a month.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't very long at all.
So long story short here, guys, I met Seth. We put on a roping in Tennessee. And Seth and a bunch of guys from West Virginia came down. West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio. There's a big group of them from like the Northeast. And they all came down to this roping. And to date, I have never seen another group of ropers that were so bad and improved so much in 5 years.
Oh, it was bad.
They built a community of people. When they came, boy, it was bad. It was not good. It was bad. And then we went up to a roping of theirs several years later, years later, and were just flabbergasted at the fact that how much everyone has improved. And it's a testament to like if you build a community of people and everybody just ropes and ropes and ropes and ropes, and then you expose those people to something that they might not have seen before, and then they take that home and do something with it. And so they came down and saw some pretty good roping. And I'm not necessarily talking about myself. There were some pretty handy guys at that particular roping that came from Missouri. But Seth has kind of separated himself from the pack, so to speak, in my opinion. You came to a one-man clinic of ours.
That was right after that. That's where I learned how to do it. That's when I started doing it. Yep.
Yeah. So he came to the one-man clinic and was, for lack of a better term, more lost than last year's Easter egg. Yeah. And kind of started getting some things figured out. Now, since then, he came to Wyoming with us pretty much every year that we went, came out and doctored yearlings out there, and has been running a background and yard up there in Pennsylvania for the last couple of years, worked for a couple of different stalker outfits, and now has become the premier cow catcher on the Eastern Coast. And it's funny. Every time I call Seth, he's like, yeah, I'm just headed to catch some cows, I mean,
yeah, yesterday he called to ask about this, and literally we was on our way to catch 6.
Yes. And you caught all 6 of them, huh?
Yeah, all 6 of them. Yeah, it was all after 6 o'clock yesterday. I thought we had 3 of them roped and tied down at like 10 o'clock, and I thought it was going to be an easy day, and it ended up turning a little longer than what we thought, but they're all 6 caught.
Well, this dude sends me videos at least once a month of some teetotal bullcrap. I'm talking about bro dogs like shoulder deep in a river roping a bull, like, and then he tells me, he's like, hey, you need to come catch cows with me. I'm like, hell no, dude, I don't want to come catch cows with you. It looks terrible. And he says it's fun, but
it's fun. Yeah, yesterday it's fun. The only thing about like where when you get down in Kentucky a little bit where we taught those yesterday is there's fences everywhere. So
you have
like
to cut them.
Yeah, we did a couple, and then you got to fix them back because a lot of them old fences ain't no good. But then there's a lot of cows. Finally, they had hauled all the cows off of this place, and they kept getting out. Well, a couple of them got hit on the road, and the sheriff's department wanted them caught, so that's why we was there.
Is that who pays for it?
No, that was the owner had to pay for it on this. Yeah.
Was he pissed?
No, I don't think so. Because he just wanted them caught. Like it was just I don't know what happened there, but it was some kind of deal. Like the cattle, they started out with a pretty good herd, but these was the last 6. They had got the last out last year or something.
Well, tell me. So now I've roped with quite a few West Virginians.
Yeah,
and you take some pretty green help to go do this stuff.
Yeah, that's fun. Yep.
So tell me about this a little bit. What's it like roping with somebody who just flat can't do it, and you just send them in there to do it?
Well, I more need somebody like, it depends on what we're going after. Like those cows are no big deal. Just the bulls is where you got to have somebody that knows what they're doing. The yearlings ain't too bad neither. But if you got somebody just to help get the dogs and then to help you tie them down is a big help. They don't have to rope that great.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times, because I can usually get them caught. It just helps having an extra hand there. I mean, like a lot of times I'll do it by myself, but
it ain't no fun that way.
No. But like when me and Ryan yesterday, we was rolling through them. It just the fences is what screwed us yesterday.
Yeah.
And we had some young boys that helped us yesterday that was really good. And my buddy Cam, he goes with us. He's getting a little better now too.
Cam
Rose from here. Not Cam Korzak. Cam Rose lives. There's another one. Cam lives right beside him here.
Oh, okay. And
his roping ain't that great.
Okay.
No, he can't rope yet, but he can ride and he can jump. He knows how to tie one down. Like he's got good. He might not be the best roper, but he can tie one down in a split second.
I agree. I do agree that that's a helpful thing.
Yes, it is, especially when you're in a hurry. You know, I don't have to get all. I can just trip him. He'll be on him, tie him to throw my rope back, and I can go on.
Yeah, that's funny.
If there's two, yeah, I pay him. Yeah, I tell him, I said, you're getting paid to ride your horse.
That's true.
Yeah.
What do you pay?
I usually pay him $100 a day.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty good for just tying him down.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And he don't like, yeah, I didn't have nobody pay me to ride my horse or learn how, and I try to show him stuff every time we go, and he gets better every time.
Yeah. That ain't bad. 100 a day. I've done way worse than tie calves down for 100 a day.
Yeah. He rides with me and I always use it. Yeah. And we have a blast doing it. So I wish somebody took me and paid me $100 a day.
Yeah, you'd be way further along then. Huh?
I would be, wouldn't I? Yeah, especially back then.
We never paid for you to come help us.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, yeah, I mean, I learned I paid for my education, but it was the other way.
And I made you rope them. Like,
yeah, I know.
Yeah, we made you doctor them all. Oh,
yeah,
my gosh, that is freaking funny. Well, I mean, we've talked about this before, and I talked about this on a couple other episodes, but one thing in the cowboy community, one thing people do not do is pay well.
No, that's really awful.
It's pretty amazing to me, honestly, like how poor a cowhand gets paid for the skill set it is. You know what I mean?
It's crazy. Like that's a big thing. I think, like you're taking care of a lot of money. I mean, those things are not cheap. You're responsible, and they don't pay nothing.
They don't pay nothing. Like you can't, you honestly, unless it's like a subcontractor almost where you name your own price, and these people are kind of in a pickle because they didn't manage their self. But yeah, it's terrible, dude. Like, you're talking, you get hired on at a place and they're talking about $3,000 a month, dude. Well, this is an everyday job. That's $100 a day. Yeah.
And furnish all your horse and gear and everything.
Yeah. It's
like, nuts. I don't know how they do it.
I don't either.
Not like that. Like,
And these guys will have 5 saddles, and they all tell me, they're like, yeah, man, you just trade. I'm like, what do you trade for a saddle? Your truck? Things are like freaking $8,500, dude.
I know those. Yeah, a decent saddle I think would be $5,000 now.
At least.
At least. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how they do it. Like, that's crazy to me.
I don't either. I guess I think lots of them, and I've talked about this before, but lots of them make horses and sell horses, and
I think would help it tremendously, wouldn't
it? Well, it'd have to. I mean, you're talking about making like freaking $36,000 a year, and it costs you $75,000 just to do the job.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
that's crazy.
I don't understand it. I really don't. And so, but it's just like a UFC fighter or anything else. What these guys do, the people who hire folks, is they basically use the fact that you love the work you're going to do it. You're going to do it. You're going to be like, I want to work there, so I'm going to do it for $3,000. And if everybody just sat down and said, you know what, we're not going to do this anymore until you actually pay us what we're worth, because if you know what they're making on the cattle, it's kind of offensive.
It is a lot of time. Yeah, that's right. And like, it takes, like, this stuff ain't easy to learn, is it? I mean, like, it's hard. It's a pretty tough skill set a lot of times.
Yeah, 100%. To do it well, it's a very tough skill set. And that might be an alter argument from the cattle owner's perspective, is how do I know you can do it? You know what I mean? Like, not very many people have this skill.
That's right. But yeah, you're right. Especially even back here. I know out west you see it more also, but back here, it's not, like, it's pretty rare, ain't it? Like, you all did it in Alabama. There wasn't a lot of people doing it down there. Like, what?
Nobody.
It's like me up at Adam. You know, when I work for Adam, that's a pretty high skill set, and there is nobody ropes more than we do when you're doing that. Is there?
No.
Like, it's crazy the amount
of roping you do.
Yeah, the stocker operation like that.
I mean, I know guys from Nevada and Wyoming and all over the place that would come work where me and you work in the fall and in the winter, just because you get to rope so dang much. I mean it's 40
all day, all day, every day. You could never get caught up, really.
No, ever. That's why there's got to be an end to it.
You just got to, like, quit buying. Quit buying cows.
Freaking die, dude.
Yeah, it kills your horses, like everything.
But is there anything that makes you better?
No, I think that's where you get good. I really do, because that's probably some of the best roping you can do, ain't it? I would think.
For me,
it's too.
My favorite thing to do is Dr. Yearlings.
Yes.
It doesn't get any better.
And you really, you got to learn a lot. You learn your craft. You learn to read cattle, the sickness, everything, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and it's a testament to like if you suck with your stockmanship and you don't know how to set a calf up for a shot, your day is infinitely worse. Like, you're going to have a horrible day roping, because you're never going to get them caught, and not quickly. You know.
No, well, you might get them, but they'll be sitting there huffing out of air.
Mm-hmm.
Be the only way you get them caught.
Yeah, my dad told me when I started working at Parkman, he was like, you'll learn more in a year here than most guys on a cow-calf place learn in 10 years.
I could see that. I would think so, too.
Just because there's so much of it. Like, so much gathering, so much processing.
Processing, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say processing. Look how much processing you do, castrating. I mean,
it's nuts. You know, at a cow-calf deal, you're going to cut your calves during branding season, but let's say you got 1,500 head, but we be cutting 1,500 head in 2 weeks. And
that's what I was going to say. Long. Yeah, I was going to say somebody have 200 calves back here. 200 cows might do 200 calves. We do 200 in a week.
Yes.
At least.
Over and over and over. It's every day. It's awesome. It's the funnest job ever. And I'll tell y'all this, everybody listening, because I get calls on this all the time. But if you're wanting to go work for a stocker deal, do it before you get married.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, because
it's tough, man. It's tough on a wife, buddy.
Yeah, Sarah puts up a lot with me being, when I'm gone and everything all winter. I mean, because it's 7 days a week. Yeah, you cannot. There's no break. Like, even when she used to come up there, like, you don't have time. You might go eat when it's dark.
Yeah.
on Saturday
if they
night.
don't like sitting in a feed truck, they're not going to like it.
Yeah, they got to love that. Yeah, they got to ride around and feed with you because that's the only chill time you have, ain't it, Dalton? Like you can talk.
That's it.
Call somebody on the phone in the morning while you're feeding, looking at your calves.
I'm telling you, the only time before I started working with Dad, the only time I would talk to him in the background, you could hear click, bang, click, bang, click, bang.
Trip hopper.
That freaking trip hopper going off. That's all. And then gate chains rattling. That's the only time you talk to him. And then if you called him after lunch, he'd be pissed at you because his phone be ringing right in the middle of him trying to neck one, you know?
Yep, it does. Everybody trying to call you for eating. You're like, I can't talk. Like, your hands are busy.
He used to get so freaking pissed when we'd be roping together and his phone would go off right in the middle of us trying to neck one. It was so funny. Oh, he would get so mad.
Oh, that was a blast when he came up here this fall. It was a big help too, really. I mean, like,
yeah, you worked with him, so give the people. So, Dad went and helped Seth this fall for what, 3 weeks?
No, it's 10 days, 10, 14 days, something like that. It was a pretty long time, but it wasn't quite 3 weeks, I don't think. But it was a blast, man. We just would. I don't know how we would have got through that many this year with doing it like we did without him.
What's it like working with him?
Oh, John's way more serious than I am, but it's a blast because we took together, you know. Oh, if he misses, he gets so mad, you know.
He gets mad.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I mean, I get mad at myself, but it ain't no big deal. Just rebuild and do it again. We got all these other ones. I mean, like, we got to get it done here.
Yeah. No.
Oh, but it is. I know where he's coming from, but he takes it way more serious than I do sometimes. But
Road Dog does not like missing.
No, but we took together. Like, man, I roped good when he was there. Like, it was awesome having help too.
It's nice having somebody that knows.
Because when we'd go to one, we'd get, you know, like look at each other. We'd start off doing our own thing. You know, he'd go to pasture, but at the end of the day, we'd always try to get together. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we'd be even roping in the same pasture.
Yeah.
It was so, you know, we had one really big pasture that you could rope two of you, and the cattle would never, you know, it's so big you never bothered them.
Yeah.
And then if we had a trouble, and if he seen that he was having trouble, he'd come to me or vice versa.
Y'all got some good video up there. That was good
I was going to say, he should have. We didn't have, you know, he flew the drone that one day, but that was the only day. But me and him tried to wear the GoPros a lot, but I lost my one card went bad that I sent to you. I had a lot of good stuff on it.
Oh,
for me and him. Yeah, but I don't know what happened there.
Well, it's funny, man. Like I've worked with that guy all over the country, and I cherish the time that we worked at Partman together. That was a special.
Oh,
That's a special hell to walk through with a guy. It really is. I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's a long fall down here.
I can see it. Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, because you're with each other 24/7 pretty much, except when your doctor ain't. You know, it's the same way. If somebody's working with you, they're living with you. That's the whole nine, ain't it?
Now you do got some other help that comes. That they wrote pretty handy that I saw. Yeah,
Tony come, Amanda Perry come, Jamie comes, Gracie. Ethan was coming there last year. He didn't come much this year. My buddy Brian comes. Everybody, they all try to come on the weekends, you know, when they're off and just rope for fun.
Yeah.
Man, but everybody got
Ethan, dude. He is the funniest guy. Like, so Ethan, little backstory on Ethan. Seth brought Ethan to Wyoming, and I was we were doctoring cattle, and he came with me. It might have been me, you, Abby, and Ethan. Was it me, you, Abby, and Ethan?
One day it was, yeah.
Marty.
Marty went with you all. I went with John a couple of days, and Ethan went with you all a couple of days too, by himself.
Maybe that's what it was. And I was riding this like pretty stingy horse. Like he's a good horse. He just doesn't tolerate no foolishness. And I try to keep everything real put together for him. And I wasn't really paying much attention. I necked this calf, and Abby missed a heel shot. And here Ethan comes. Well, Ethan's a wrong hander. He's freaking left-handed. And he came in on that wrong side and started to rim fire me a little bit. My horse went to grabbing his butt. I was like, no. Nope. Sorry, buddy. This ain't the one. We ain't doing this today.
It's totally different roping with somebody that's left-handed.
Oh, it's freaking backwards, dude.
Yeah, like you try
so hard.
You know, roping's all angles. I've learned that, you know, and you watch him, and I got to think about it every time. He like, when I do it, you know, and I'm like, well, you know, but it's the same, but it's backwards. I'm like, well, yeah. No,
Hey man, that rope ain't supposed to go right up my horse's butthole. You know what I mean? Hey, if you could keep that thing off of that's a button we're not going to push today. You know what I mean?
I tell you where it would really shine. Head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you don't have to switch sides. You know how you'll roll if your header misses.
Yeah.
You from the guy on the right, you'll roll it in front of the guy on the left. The header will roll it in front of the guy on the right, so the angles match up. You don't have to rope over your horse's head.
Yeah.
But if he was left-handed, and Ethan was, it would be perfect.
It's that heel shot that it's
that's
a problem.
And Ethan don't head that much, you know what I mean? But I've said, man, if you ever got good, really super good, because that would be, you never have to switch sides.
Yeah, you just
keep right on rolling straight.
Miss and miss.
Yeah. If you miss, the arm falls off or something like this.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Well, tell me this. So you came to Wyoming a couple of times. Where's the most challenging place you've roped so far?
Back here by far.
West Virginia.
Yeah. Because the terrain's like Wyoming, except that the flats are not near as big. The hills are not near as tall, but they're way more of them. And they're covered in brush.
Ugh.
And you have very little clearings.
Do you use any special gear like the guys in Arizona and Texas with their bat wings, or you got any West Virginia gear? No, just straight up.
No, not you just gotta have you gotta have some if you wear long sleeve, big heavy shirts. I always try to wear one of those Wrangler shirts when I'm always going, because you got some weight in there sometimes.
Why don't you tie off if you're roping in the brush all the time?
I just never have. I don't know. It just ain't me. I mean, I know a lot of guys that do it, but I just have never did it.
Nope, me neither. I have commitment issues.
Yeah, like yesterday there was a young boy with us, and he made a really good run and shot it. We was in this little field. We'd got the first three, and he caught the calf, it was about a 9-weight bull. But he caught it right when he went to go to it, but he caught the fence. I seen it was down a little bit of a hill too, and I thought, man, if he catches that, he'll never get to the horn. But he had rubber. I thought maybe, and he necked it slick as he could be, but right as he necked it, he was at the fence, and it just stripped his rope from. There it goes through the, it was an old junk fence. So that was kind of a, bummer
wreck.
But but if he even tied off, it wouldn't have been no better, I don't think.
No, it would have been a calf on the other side of the fence.
The fence, that's right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't there was no way he could have got to the horn. It was just too fast. Like he dallies good, but it just was too fast.
Yeah. Well,
he didn't have enough rope. Yeah, it just would have been. Hate those times.
Have you ever been vaquiroed?
No.
You've never been vaquiroed?
No, but my buddy Brian has. Yeah.
Were you with him?
Yeah, I was with him. We had this big cow roped on the side of this hill. And I've learned this too, as I've been doing this a long time. You used to go up there, you got a big soggy cow roped on a hill, you try to lay a trap in front of them and drag them, make them move or whatever. Well, now, when they just, if you got them caught, and they're not drifting or whatever, I'll just stop them real quick. And I'm like, hey, throw that loop behind them. And I'll just slide over my hand, slide a little rope. They step right back. They can drag them down. The gravity's in your favor. You cannot pull a cow uphill any grade. So I've learned that, well, that day, that was back, several years ago. Well, I run up there and he had this big cow neck, this Charlie cow, and I run up there and I had a good trap on. I'm like, go, go, go. Well, he couldn't pull it up the hill. And I thought, man, as soon as then, I'm like, man, why didn't I throw it behind it?
Yeah.
Well, he kept feeding rope. And he's like, I'm going to lose her. Because his horse kept bowing down. And it was pretty steep, really steep. And I'm like, okay, I'm hurrying, And all of a sudden, pow, there he comes off. His horse on the ground, crawling around, crying. Oh, yeah, he was bad shape. And Brian's a tough big guy. He's like, he just slapped me in the... I was like, that's what they're talking about when they say vaquero.
Hey, that is what we're talking about when we say vaquero, baby.
It even had where it hit on his leg, it had a big bruise. It hits hard down the side of his leg. He's like, it bruised me.
Hey, man, that poor old pecker. Woo, Lord have mercy, child. Gosh, dang it! That thing ain't meant to take a lick like that. You know
No,
what I'm saying? That ain't gentle.
not at all.
That ain't a gentle thing. Oh my goodness. Oh well, I'm surprised you've never been vaquero, but you're pretty
I
quick
never.
to the horn.
Yeah, I'll say I'm not knock on wood. I mean, I don't know here it's going to happen to me now. I keep
Yeah,
waiting for it
right.
one of these days.
I know it's happened to Dad and Richard and Travis Newman and
Yeah, have you never been?
nuh-uh.
Me neither. Like I know,
Mm-mm.
knock on wood. I've been
No.
burned a
And
lot of times, and
I've lost my rope a bunch and
oh
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
ain't never got me.
If you ain't never lost your rope, you ain't never roped.
No, period.
I mean, period. It just don't happen, does? I mean, everybody loses. I mean, every now and then I
No.
still lose my rope. I mean, I get so mad or aggravated at myself, but crap happens.
Yeah. No, it's part of it. You gonna go back to the Pro-Am this year?
Yep. Try my best.
Who you gonna go? You taking Ryan again?
Yeah, me and Ryan and Jamie, yeah, and Ethan Gaston's going. He lives in Denver now, but he was from Ohio.
Okay.
So he's going to go. We're going to try to go. Part of everything works out, we are.
I wish I could go.
I know.
Gosh,
I cannot believe you ain't going to go. You ought to at least go. I know John ain't going to go, but you ought to go.
No, I wish I could. I can't, man. I just can't. I don't have time anymore.
Well, I know y'all stay busy.
It's wild down here. Maybe next year. Maybe next year I'll get it. I'll be in a better spot next year. But right now it's wide open. So you've roped with a lot of different people. Out of all the people you've roped with, who's the funnest and why?
You got to be one of the funnest, yeah.
Come on, man. So. You can't say that. I'm the one sitting right here.
Okay, I'm trying to think of anybody like around here. Oh, being the funnest.
We do have a good time, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, me and you have a blast when we're doing it. I don't know.
Neither of us care.
No, we just let it go. Yeah.
Whatever,
like, John's probably the best roper I've roped with consistently, but it hits fun. But me and you have more fun. We're way more or less serious.
Yeah, just chilling. Like
it's cracking jokes the whole time.
Of a freaking deal, man. Like, come on,
cracking jokes the whole time.
I kind of adopt whatever personality I'm around. Like Dad's real serious. If Cody Harris was pretty he liked to not miss, So if I'm with people like that, I get pretty serious. But when I'm the one that's when it's just me, I'm just like, yeah, here we go. It'll be okay.
That's the attitude you got to have with it. I mean, there ain't any stuff. I mean, I hate screwing up, but we all do it. We're human.
No, it's part of the game, dude.
Yeah, that's right.
Lots of times it's freaking funny. Like, it's hilarious.
Oh, you can go back on it, and like that second, you might, son of a gun, but then you just laugh at it about it.
Well, and then you go with people like Doctrine with Marty and Kenny and.
Oh, yeah.
It's if you're too mad or serious, it's not any dang fun, man. Like when I went with Marty and Kenny, and you could be lumped into this too. Them suckers, when they came to Wyoming, would lose their freaking hat. Their hats they're everywhere. Just hats, just flying. And we got all our hat bands flipped. Our hats are all on sideways and trying to keep it all on there. And Marty lost his hat one time. Went back to the truck, got a ball cap, lost the ball cap. I was like, dude, come on, man. What the heck is going on? And so I just kind of adopted this. And then I spent a lot of time doctoring with Emily and Abby and Natalie and Nathan, the younger people that were out there. And they're all learning, it's nothing, you can't. If I was out there, me and another me, then that's totally different. I would expect quite a bit. But when you got a 15-year-old, or Emily was 13 at the time, out there healing for you, you can't hold them to any sort of real standard,
No, when you first start working, it takes 3 or 4 days to get do you mess with each other, know what you're going to do, don't it? I mean, it don't matter who you are.
Mm-hmm. Now, Abby got dirty good, but it took a summer, half a summer
for her. Yeah.
For her to know.
Once you work with, me and Ryan, we worked with each other every week. We pretty much know exactly what we're going to do before, he can be a heel over and I can see him. I'm like, oh, I know what he's doing. or, but it just, you never know. Like yesterday, I seen him, on that last one, he cut out a bull. He brought a couple cows with him, and I seen him coming, and he was in with these guys' cows. Well, I seen it, I read it. I was like, I got to get those cows. So I just kept stepping forward. He was bringing it down the fence around a big side of a hill, clear, it was cleared pasture, but just kept stepping up, and I stepped up. They sorted off. He charged right ahead to keep the bull, and then we had him away from that guy's cows. No big deal. That guy was tickled to death because he was worried about that, bothering his cows.
Yeah, of course. Well, is there anything cooler than that on Earth?
No, that.
It's like the closest thing to a superpower that I've ever experienced.
Yes, that's true.
Like reading somebody else's mind. Like you literally know what they're going to do before they do it.
Yeah, that's so true. And if you work with somebody enough,
Oh, 100%. 100%. That might be what I miss the most about working at apartment is like when we'd pen pastures, it'd be just the two of us or whatever, maybe sometimes three of us. And like you'd be rolling them at a dead run, like as hard as you could go. And you knew exactly what the guy in front of you was going to do. Like at Mach 9 speed, super cool stuff. It's the best job on earth. That's why it doesn't pay.
That's right. Which it should. It's still wrong.
It's too cool. It's too cool.
Yeah, it's really cool sometimes freezing to death and dying of the heat, but we do it.
That's true. The romance is kind of gone a little bit. The romance dies when it starts snowing. That romance starts to dwindle.
Spend a couple winters in PA with it snowing sideways trying to rope.
I don't want to, Seth. I don't want to.
It's fun, but man, it can get rough. Everything gets wet back here so bad,
Yeah. Well, is that why you like the polys the best?
Oh yeah. I love, because they're indestructible. Just where it's so wet. Go lay down, sister. Go lay down, sis. Dog coming up.
Is that your good dog?
Yeah, that's my good one. Yeah, she's been laying here asleep.
All the other ones follow her.
Yep. Yeah, she finds the cows, that's for sure.
Well, tell me, what's your craziest cow catching story? You got any good ones?
Probably that one in the river that time. That was probably
happened?
Well, we went out to Springfield, Ohio, I think it was. But there was about 9 or 10 head that had been out, and it was kind of running loose in, the little town or outside town. It wasn't in the town, but so we went out there and caught them, and we'd got them all. I think that was the last day. We had 3 left or something because they was 9 or 10, and they was in the brush. You go everywhere. A lot of cornfields out there, which you had to watch. People really didn't want you in their corn that much. It wasn't up that tall yet, but we got all of them at this last one, and he was in this creek bottom, and it was growed up, and the dogs had him made up and mad, really mad. That's something the dogs, if you got room, it really works because it'll wear them, kind of takes their attention. You run up, rope them, and somebody, try to heal them or something. Really on those bigger ones, you need to heal them. And, but man, he just tried to kill us in that brush, like charging us, and we couldn't get away from him down in there. So the dogs, he finally went to there was a big creek, like right up to your knees on your saddle. And that's where he went. He kept going out in that creek. And we was like, well, I don't know what, there was 2 or 3 of us or 4, maybe. We didn't know what we was going to do, how we was going to get him out of there. We didn't know how to get him roped, couldn't get him up into one of those fields to get him, he knew to go in the brush to get away from everything. And I finally got out there in that river, and I said, I think I'm just going to try to rope him out here. And they're like, I was like, well, he can't hit me, like that water slowed him down.
Yeah.
He just tried to, he couldn't really do as much. So I finally put like 3 coils, and I got him roped. And here he come, up the rope and all pissed. So I kept, riding away, trying to in the water, and then the dogs would get on him, get his attention, a little bit. And finally, John got a rope on him. And then we had 2, then we got him over to the bank and get him, we found us a way up out of the brush too, over into this field. And that's how we got him loaded. But it was a trip. He was about 1,500 pounds. It was just enough to hurt you. But real quick, those are the bad ones, I think.
How much you get for catching him?
I think it was $400 a head back then. 300 or 400, I don't remember. It wasn't enough.
That's
wasn't even
400.
Yeah, that was awful. It wasn't enough. Now we get a good bit more than that on them bulls.
So you think the light bulls are the worst ones?
Yeah, like at 15, 1600. Yeah. But the other ones are bad, but those are super quick, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Them bulls just have that stamina. They don't quit like a cow. Big cow's nothing
They
to
just
me.
shut down.
They did. Yeah. A lot of them are, especially if they're at somebody's place where they're all fat and, you know, they'll just crash before they even rope them. They do.
Well, the bulls, like, have you ever caught anything with horns pretty good that hooked you?
Yes, but I've been lucky. I ain't never got hurt or never got my horse really hurt. I've roped several cows and not really no big bulls with horns, I don't think. One of them maybe, but now the other boys have got their horses hurt.
Hooked pretty good.
Yeah, everybody has. I've just been lucky on that.
Dang.
Real lucky.
What do you do with it? You just push through it and then take him to the vet, I guess.
I guess, yeah. They got him sewed up. Yeah, I know Billy got his. It had a big old gash on it, and then John had a puncture. It was a puncture wound on his. You know, where it kind of went in its leg.
They just does your horse just get to leaving you after all that, or does yours stay with you pretty good?
Mine knows the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one that grew a horse I ride all the time. He if he knows, like if it means business, he'll get out of the way. But he can tell when they face up. You know how they look.
Yeah. So he doesn't get all dancing around and
no, not at all. But now if a big bull faces up, he knows it's coming. Get out of the way. Or a cow, he knows the difference. You know, he's like, hey, she's going to hit us. You know, we got to jump aside to get out of here.
Yeah. Man,
they know. Crazy. It's weird that they know that stuff.
It is. It's like they can read them better than
they can read. They can read them too, just like you can.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of ours is, you know, in little pastures or bottoms or stuff like that. You know, not out in that open country. Like when we was in Wyoming, we never had a cow ever get mean with us out there, did we?
No,
They can move out so easy. I feel like.
Yeah, they don't have to fight.
They just
run away.
They just run away. But back here, you know, that's the thing. That's why we get a lot of call. You know, is because people can't stay with them in the brush or the hills. You know, they don't have a horse or a dog. You know, but like when them cows know that you're going to keep coming, then that's when they get on the fight pretty quick. That's when they get caught every time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'd say, you know, 3 out of every 10 head I doctored in Alabama would come to you.
Yeah, they do. Some even the ones, like
it.
Sick. They're just out of their head, though, ain't they?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times.
Well, no, I mean sometimes, but like even, you know, we get them sale barn calves, dude, and I think I've told this story before, but they had this sweep tub at the cattle company where we process cattle, and it was like 6-7 foot tall. It was, I guess, it was like a hand above my head. It was probably 6 foot tall, slick panel, like iron
sheeted.
Yes.
Like sheeted. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like you couldn't just climb them; you had to do a pull up.
Yeah,
and I had to go in that thing and load the chute, and I freaking hated it
because you couldn't get away from them.
Yeah, man. Like if they were on the fighter, they'd come to you and they'd be in a herd. There'd be 10 head in there. And then you just be walking around pushing them where they got to go. And then one just come out and come to you. And you're like, hey, what the heck? And then you got to climb that slick panel gate, you know. And
I know exactly what you're talking about. I hated
it.
I hate getting in a place that you can't get away from like that. I've been in a place had the boards too close together or something. You're like, I can't get away from these things when they get on the fight, you know.
Well, I always felt like kind of a candy ass for being scared of them. You know what I mean? Like I was like, man, it's just a freaking cow. But then when I started running the chutes, like I was always real wary. I was like, okay, I'm going to have an exit strategy. Like I'm going to be, you know, and we had hired some younger guys there and they had they were too dumb to be scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, a couple of them weren't strong enough to like pull themselves up over the gate, which I could get up that. You hear me? I could get over that.
Yeah, I know exactly. I know exactly. I've been chased over it several times. Quick.
See ya. Well, this kid, man, he went in there and there was one fevered up in there and kind of got on the fight and he went to climb that gate and got about halfway up. And that freaking calf centered his butt crack with his head and drug him back down in there and just mauled on the guy. And I was like, yeah, this is why I don't. This is why I pay real close attention when I go in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know exactly what you mean. Like we sort all the time, and you got to watch that stuff. These cattle back here they do, don't they? They're not like those.
Yes.
It's different.
No, it
They,
is. And I've been mucked out my fair share enough to not want to get mucked out again. You know what I mean?
no,
Like I'm good on that.
it sucks, don't it? It just,
It does. It does. Old 6 weight freaking Charlotte Cross heifer just chewed you to pieces in them pins. I hated that. And we had a lot of eared cattle. So like
yeah, that's right.
they wouldn't get on the fight as bad, but they were just kind of crazy acting. Like they were just real frantic acting, and they would run you over on accident just because they were freaking out,
And they're way more athletic too, ain't they?
Yes.
That's what I've always seen. They're herd. We'll have a few of them up here, but not that many.
No, man, they were like roping deer, dude. Them things are fast. Like,
yeah.
Especially the 5, 6 weights. They got real long legs, and they'll freaking. When you go to them, you better be piling to them.
You wouldn't think that a little 5-weight calf can run like they can you?
Dude,
wow. Man, them things are fast. They are.
Especially if you spend a lot of time roping like 8 weights, because 800-pound calves are not as fast.
No, they're not. That's right.
But those athletic little ones.
They peter out pretty quick too, don't they? Like the bigger they get, that's the way those cows are. If you go 200 yards to her and not even try to rope her, she'll usually
turn around and let you.
Yeah, yeah, or she's just done. You know what I mean? Like she just ain't got the wind to even go. She can be healthy as she can be.
Yeah.
And then every now and then you'll get one that just goes and goes and goes. But
man, that's funny. It's good stuff, dude. It's all fun.
Oh gosh, yeah. But yeah, that's how we wound up back here doing it. Just there ain't nobody.
Well, yeah, and now you can't leave because you're the guy.
I don't know about that now, but
every sheriff department from there to Alabama is like, hey, if you got a cow out, you call Seth Adkins now. He'll slip down here, get her caught, and still have time to pose for the newspaper. You know what I mean?
There's people doing it all over. There's not a lot of people in our area.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Well, how long you been married, Seth?
Well, which time?
the first time, the whole time.
Well, 20-some years, let's see, 21, 22.
And you got one son, don't you?
Yeah, got one boy, Grady, yeah.
How old is he?
He's 16.
And now, what does he do? Does he play ball or work or?
Oh, no, he did, but now he's more into playing music and stuff like that. But he's not into the cows or horses, nothing like that. But he does work and stuff like that.
What he plays music? What kind of music?
He plays guitar. Music? Oh no, no, but he's got really good like playing the guitar, stuff like that. He can play just about anything, banjo.
Really?
Yeah, if he picks anything up, he knows all that stuff. Like he can read the music and all. I don't know how to do that stuff.
Did he start doing that to pick up chicks?
I don't know. It probably works, but but I don't know. But like he just kind of one day just started doing it, and like it's natural to him.
Huh.
Like, everybody always tries to play a little bit, but they can't.
Now, as a father, does it bother you that he's not into what you're into?
No, I mean, I wish he was, but you can't. There's nothing you can do about that. People are just,
So what's your attitude towards it?
Wait, well, what do you mean? It's not nothing bad.
Yeah. No. I mean, so what do you do with him to spend time or?
Oh, well, we just got to hang out here and just do, stuff like that. Because he's not going to do that.
Yeah.
No.
What, the Cowboying?
Yeah, no. Just when I come in of evening, we'll hang, sit on the porch, stuff like that here. But no.
What are you talking about?
Oh, his day at school, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then we'll work on his car. We work on his car together. We would mow, we'd eat, work around the house, stuff like that together.
Normal stuff.
Yeah, like nothing.
Well, because I would say this is probably a big deal, and I've experienced this with like my sister Emily and my sister Lakin, right? They don't have nothing to do with the cowboying stuff, and so it's always been interesting to me watching the dynamic between parents and kids, and if your kid comes up wanting to do something else, like what do you do with that? And I'm sure lots of people have experienced the same thing that you have, like, well, this is what I do for fun. This is what I like to do. But my kids, like, it came from somebody else, you know?
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, you do it all the time. And you think about that. You're like, man, I wish, but there's just nothing, you just got to do what they like doing. When he was playing ball, we went to the ball. And Sarah always, she's the best, she'll does whatever. Great, always has.
Well, did he play baseball?
Yeah, he played baseball, and then he played basketball all the way to high school, through middle school. He played for the middle school.
And you played both of those, so you were kind of probably involved with that.
Yeah, but I wasn't like some people, but yeah, I always played.
Yeah,
I wouldn't how some of those parents really take it serious.
Well, I'm Wiley's coach.
Are you?
Oh, buddy.
Okay.
And I was like, the first 6 weeks we were practicing, I was like pissed I did it. I was like, dude, this sucks. Why did I choose to coach? After the first game, bro, I was like, this is my new thing. Like, I freaking love it. Like, it's so much fun.
See, like my dad coached us, he was in a little league and stuff like that, but they played ball too. Like they was really he played baseball all the way through high school, all the way till he graduated. So he liked it, but I did. But when I got in Babe Ruth, finally, I just back then I liked to hunt and fish and stuff did more hunting than fishing, but I just like stuff like that more than I did ball.
Yeah.
So I kind of went away from it. Now if I could have had somebody to ride with back then, I'd have rode every day. I did when I could.
Mm-hmm.
But I just like that stuff better.
See, I played ball all the way through high school, and I had I had 2 scholarship offers to play in college, but both of the teams, like I got offered to an all-black community college in Birmingham, and I went for a visit, and I was like, this really isn't a good fit. I was literally the only white guy that I saw on campus, and I was a little uncomfortable, and didn't really, like when I walked in the locker room, I was like, everybody's kind of giving me the big eye. You know what I mean? And then I got offered to this Christian school that was terrible. And I came from a ball team that was horrible, Seth. I mean, my senior year, we won 2 out of 27 games.
Oh, man.
It was bad. So I went to a community college, and I was going to walk on. I was going to try to get one of the walk-on spots. And I went and watched the spring practice, and I was way out of my league. Like, it wasn't even – I couldn't have played with those guys if I wanted to. I just wasn't good enough. So, but I loved baseball and thought it was a lot of fun. And Wiley, he had never really played, but this was his first year, and they put him in coach pitch instead of T-ball.
Yeah.
And I was like, Kara was worried. She was like, he's going to suck. He's going to be the worst one on the team. I was like, oh, he'll be fine. It's just coach pitch, So I coached so I could help him out, and he's really pretty dang good, man. He's probably maybe the third best kid on the team. Maybe the first best defensively, but hitting, he's probably the third best. He's pretty solid.
That stuff had really changed from when I played ball. Because back when I played, you just had Pee Wee and then Little League. But now they got it was before Pee Wee. What's it called? Like they start way earlier, and they set the thing on
T-ball. Yeah,
that's what it was. I was like, what is this? And then and I love baseball. I like to play it, but man, does it get boring watching. Basketball is way better. Yeah, I do love when he played basketball a lot better because you can watch it and it's kind of interesting. Keeps you up.
Yeah.
Baseball's so boring sometimes. It is.
It's rough. I told the kids, maybe it's 3rd or 4th practice, I was standing up there and I said, 1:57 p.m. I said, are you guys bored? And they're all looking at me, nodding. I said, get used to it. Welcome to playing baseball. And just kept going.
I remember when I was playing, when I was in Little League, I'm like, you're out in the outfield and you're just like, man, this is so boring. Like, somebody hit this ball to me.
Please hit the ball. Please.
Yeah, please. Come on, get a hit here so we can get some action.
I'm telling you, man, it's pretty funny. Well, so did you end up with a pretty good kid, or did you make a pretty good kid?
No, I think we ended up with more, both. But I mean, because we've got, Grady's never no kind of variable. Yeah, we got a good.
Uh-oh. Hang on just a second.
Can you hear me?
Hey, you still there?
You got me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody, my sister called. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well,
But yeah, like I think it.
is she calling again?
Are we there now? It says reconnecting.
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh,
Okay.
We'll let it reconnect.
So, yeah, but no, I think we got an excellent kid. Like Grady's never been no kind of trouble. He's very, polite, which we've taught him has, always been like that.
Yeah.
You know how some kids, they're wild. They can be, can't they?
Yeah. Did you have to create that kid, or was you kind of gifted one?
I think we was gifted that, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, he's just in it, But me and Sarah was never no kind of big trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, nothing like that.
Are you the disciplinarian, or is Sarah?
No, she makes me always. She tries, but she's like, you got to say something, or do he won't listen to me.
Well, that's good. That's how. It's
I know. Well, that's what I'm like. It's supposed to. It's my job.
Yeah.
But he'll pull some stuff on Sarah, every now and then, because he knows she's his mom.
Yeah. Do you laugh at that, or are you like, come on, man, what's wrong with you?
Well, sometimes I tell him, like, Greg, you can't do that, like, and then other times, like, I'm like, if it ain't bad, I'll kind of laugh about it. But if it's bad, like, you can't do that.
Well, so my goal, and you tell me if this is factual, because you're where I'm talking about. My goal is to have a pretty well-rounded man by the time he's 16, understand consequences and all the things.
Yeah, I think he does. I think that's good. I know I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Grady does too. Yeah, because, man, when you get in trouble at that age, it can be bad.
Yes. Well, that's kind of my philosophy is you hand him a set of keys and you got a bag.
Yeah, that's what, because he got a car now, we're like, hey, you got to be careful. Mm-hmm. Like if something happens now, it's not no joke.
Exactly.
Like you're taking other people's lives here.
Yeah, man, that's scary.
In your hand. Yeah. Especially, nowadays.
Well, is he a pretty hard go-getter? Like, does he want to go to college or want to go to work or what's he want to do?
Oh, yeah. No, he wants to go to college.
Yeah. And do what?
Yeah, he talked about being an architect, but I don't think for sure now. I don't know for sure. He's kind of back and forth on that because there's so much school.
You got any say on that?
I don't care. It don't make no difference to me, but
yeah,
like whatever he wants, just want to be happy.
Well, there's still hope for you. I didn't start cowboying with my dad till I was 25.
That's true. Hey, That's right. You never know, do you?
No,
he might jump right in. Yeah, he might jump right into this one of these days.
Hey, there's a lot of crappy jobs out there. If you're going to do a crappy job, you might as well do one that's fun sometimes.
How'd you wind up starting so late, Dalton, with John? Because he worked there way before then, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, many years. I was my folks were divorced, so I didn't grow up with dad.
Okay.
We went every other weekend or whatever, and he always had horses and stuff, but I didn't even really know what he did until I started working there. And so I kind of took my own path there. I fished in college and all the things. And
yeah, I know.
And then I was managing restaurants, and I was managing an Outback Steakhouse actually, and just hating my life. It was awful. And needed a career change. Kara pretty much was like, I love you, but you're a piece of junk. I can't marry you, And so I joined the military. And I had a break-in training, which in the Guard, what that means is I go to basic training, and then I come home for like 5 months, and then I go to tech school. So in that 5-month break, I needed a job, but I didn't want to go back to the restaurant world. So Dad asked me if I wanted to come work with him, and that's when I started.
Okay. So you went to the military when you was in your 20s and early 20s?
Yeah, I was 24.
Okay, so he's a little bit later. Because Grady's he's talked about doing that for a little while just to help pay for college.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he will or, it depends. But he's trying to get this promise. There's a scholarship now. If your grades are so good now, you can, up here, it'll pay for a lot of your college.
Yeah. Well, it was a good route for me.
Okay.
It was a really good route for me. So I'm glad I did it. I'm glad to be out, but I'm glad I did it. And you know, when I got back from tech school for me was almost 8 months long. So I got married and left. And when I came back, I got a job on base making like $27, $28 an hour.
Yeah, that's a good job, man.
I freaking hated it. I hated it. So I went back to cowboying. Went from $28 an hour to $100 a day.
$100 a day, probably then. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It's exactly what it was. If not, after taxes, I used to get bent out because I worked with the Mexican guy every day, and he made the same as me, but he didn't pay taxes. So he made like twice as much as me. And he used to bellyache all the time about how I made is the same amount of money as him, and he's been doing it for 10 years. And I was like, dude, it's like, you don't pay taxes, man. You get all the money. Like, what are you talking about? Oh my gosh, it was fun.
That definitely helps. I mean, you might as well say 30% of your check's usually always gone.
Oh, there's no doubt. I made $363 a week.
Oh God, yeah, that's bad.
And the only reason why I remember that is because when Wiley was born, I was like, and they told me how much daycare costs. I was like, I can't send my kid to daycare and go do this job. I mean, I'm literally going to give most of my check to this other person to raise my kid. So that's why I quit.
Did Kara stay home and watch him then?
No, I did. She made all the money, dude. We couldn't live off of my pay. So she was making like $40 an hour as an ICU nurse.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
So she was the breadwinner, and she only worked 3 days a week.
Yeah, that's what my sister does. I mean, she's not an ICU nurse, but she's a nurse. They do the same thing, work the 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she's an RN.
Well, Seth, if you were talking to a young man, which I don't know if young men listen to this or not, but we're going to guess that they do. And in your 26 years of marriage, what would your advice be?
Oh, gosh. Don't take them for granted. And you got to communicate. That's the main thing. You've got to communicate. Well, because me and Sarah, we just wouldn't talk to each other, you know. We just, we wasn't even, you know, didn't even know each other there at the end, you know, because we just kind of stared at, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you stay together, but you just don't talk to each other.
So you just mean like literally communicate as far as just talking.
Yeah, you got to communicate every day, I think.
Are you doing that now?
Yeah, now we are. Yeah.
How's that going?
It's a lot better now, but you just, you know, before you just get mad and just wouldn't talk to each other for 2 weeks or something.
Mm-hmm. Did you see that coming?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. But you think, you feel, but you think, it'll get, you know, but it don't. You can't do that. You got to get through it.
And taking somebody for granted, like.
Yeah, and you do.
Would you say that's like just focusing on the negative and never looking at the positive?
Yeah, I think some of it is. And then, you know, when you go, like, when you're gone, you know, working all the time or doing stuff, you really get into that and you focus more on that, or I do. I'm really, when I do something, you know, but then I, you know, wouldn't pay attention to Sarah, and that's not right neither.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
you just got to have balance.
Yeah, you got to have balance in everything. Yeah, you can't be too much one way that's the best way to say it. Balance and communicate.
I would say that's a tendency of mine that I've been working on for years, is like, I'm kind of a mountain climber. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if I see a mountain, like, God freaking.
I do too, dog. When I get in something just like the roping, I want to be the best you can be, or, you know. Yeah.
And it's pretty easy to leave your family behind doing that.
You'll get so distracted on wanting to do the best, and then you just don't. Then you just, but you can't do that.
Yeah, I personally think that's the devil designs men in that way, so it's easy for him to destroy your family.
Yeah,
I think he sets us up that way. He sets you up like, I need to accomplish this goal, and this is what's important, when actually what's important is the woman and youngins behind you.
Yeah, the family. Yeah, they're the ones that, you should be, but you don't. You want to go, that's right. 100%.
And most women are cheering for you in the beginning. They're like, "Yeah, go do it. Yeah, you got
Yeah.
it." You know, until they
Yeah.
get neglected, and they're like, "This is bullshit." Like now, yeah,
Sarah's my biggest supporter. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Yeah, but then once you go too far, you leave them. Then they don't like that at all.
no, because that don't work neither. So it's very
No.
hard. It's a balancing act, and everybody who calls me is like, "Hey, I really want to work on a yearling place." My first question is like, "What's your wife like?"
Yes. And like Sarah, she supports me doing that all still to this day, but you got to balance it out. You can't just go wide open and you got to take a little bit of time.
Well, and
Just
that's,
just something, you got to give them something. There's got to be some give there.
Well, it's the same in the military. Like the divorce rate's so high in the military because the job is the only thing like that gets prioritized, and you deploy and all these things, and you don't really have any control over any of that. So if your wife isn't suited for that, you're going to be in bad shape.
Yeah, I can see that a lot, especially a lot of women wouldn't be for that at all.
No,
like I'm really lucky with the way with Sarah, because she kind of does support it, and you know what I'm saying.
Well, if she didn't, you couldn't do it.
No, you couldn't do it. It just wouldn't be. It ain't possible, is it?
No, it is not. It's and that's one thing. Kara, over the years, the woman has followed me all over creation, and so when she wanted to move back to Alabama, and I was like, I can either move back to Alabama now with a happy wife, or I can move back in 10 years with a really pissed one.
Yeah, then you done the right thing.
And so that's what we did, and I don't regret it at all. I miss cowboying. I miss roping every day. But her and the boys are infinitely more important than that. And so I'm hoping that God restores that into my life again, to where like I get to cowboy again in some capacity, without having to travel, all over the country. So maybe not. I don't know. I might just be suited to tie ropes and rope the dummy here in the shop, and that's okay too. But it's we don't know what's going to happen with that. But that's really cool, man. That's lessons learned.
And you learn them. Yeah, you learn them the hard way, but you just got to you grow on them.
Yep.
And not do them again. Because that stuff, it does it. Once if you're a really overachiever, whatever you want to call it, you'll forget people.
There is no.
When you go to climb that mountain, like you said, climbing that mountain, you want to be the best, but then you kind of leave them.
Yep. Facts.
That's for sure.
What were you going to ask?
What about your yearling deal down there? Have you heard any? Are you?
Man, I'm working on it. So we got 2 lease grounds that might come up. I know one comes up in 2 years, so that's kind of out for the next 2 years. And then there's another one that's in like litigation. So like the guy that owned it died, and his kids are kind of figuring out what they're going to do with it. And so that one's an opportunity here in the near future. So it's 200 acres. It's fenced, cross fence. It's got all the equipment. It's really a perfect place. But it's just got to work out. So we'll see.
Okay. I was going to ask you if it was fenced. That was the next thing I was going to say.
Yeah, it's got cattle on it right now.
It does? Okay.
Yeah, the guy right now has cows on it for all his lease payment is just cutting the grass, keeping it bush hogged.
Okay.
So we offered him, $70 an acre to get it. And if they take it, then they'll make some money off of it. So
okay. Yeah, y'all got down there is like the hot weather grasses, right?
Yeah.
Like what's y'all's main grass? I was going to ask you about that.
Bermuda,
that's what I thought. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, we got this cool like orchard grass, a lot of fescue here, but
yeah,
it's not great. But
we got fescue too.
Do you?
Dallas grass, fescue, Bermuda. There's another one I can't think of it. Clover, a lot of different. Pretty much anything will grow here.
Okay.
But in the winter, I got a planter, so I would plant rye and wheat in the winter, fall and winter. So
does it grow all winter down there?
Oh yeah. Well, most of it, yeah. It'll start popping up real hard like January.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
that soon.
Yeah, and then like end of February to look like freaking Ireland out there.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's wild.
Okay.
It doesn't get that cold here, you know. There's days in February it'll be dang near, it'd be 75 degrees, you know.
Okay, yeah, it's a lot warmer down there than it is here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be miserable this summer.
Yeah, that's one of the bad things about moving back, ain't it?
That is the bad thing.
The worst, yeah. I was gonna say
this warehouse is going to be like a damn pressure cooker all summer long, buddy. It's freaking hot in here. It's been hot in here since March.
Has it got a bunch of doors you can open up?
It's big got doors. Two. Yeah.
Two.
Yeah, but it ain't gonna matter. It ain't gonna matter. It's got fans in it, but it's just circulating hot air, you know. It's like a big dehydrator. All right. Well, that's it for Seth Adkins, guys. If you're in the West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio area, and you need a cow caught, that is the man. I will link his Facebook below. As always, thank you so much for watching the Art of Suffering podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.